Nothing like it. The best college baseball tournament in America.
It's gone! He caught it!
What a play!
Heroics again!
You got the best of the best here in Hoover, Alabama. Let's get it on.
From Hoover, Alabama, you're watching the SEC Baseball Tournament on the SEC Network, presented by Regions Bank. Vanderbilt and Florida for our second game of the day as the 12-seed Commodores look to polish up their resume for the postseason in the first meeting of the year between these two blue blood programs. Game one today, Missouri came in as a 16th seed looking to continue a Cinderella run. That went by the wayside with a big 5th inning and 6th inning from Mississippi State, including a pair of home runs for Vitas Valencius with his brother Tomas on the mound. So State sends Missouri back to Como, and the winner of this one gets Alabama tomorrow night. So here we go. Tom Hart alongside Chris Burke. Florida comes in one of the hottest teams in the league. They're playing their best baseball at the right time of the season. Kevin O'Sullivan has found some pieces, and now they're rolling.
Yeah, and they got their star player back. Brennan Lawson, the shortstop for the University of Florida, one of the most talented players really in all of college baseball. Could be the first pick, Tommy, in next year's draft. Started the season off like the best player in college baseball, and it has been a struggle here lately. However, in May, it started to trend back to the superstar form he showed us earlier in the year, and they hope he can keep this hot streak going, because if he can, he could ride them to Omaha.
Big reason Gators have won 8 of their last 9. Meanwhile, Tim Corbin says our team is good enough for an at-large berth. Some of the metrics say otherwise, and so they're trying to continue to improve those numbers after yesterday's win.
It's a fascinating case, Tommy. You're talking about a Vanderbilt team that has 15 SEC wins. That usually is a lock for the NCAA tournament, but that RPI, that top left number there, folks, is a real problem for the Commodores, so they need every win they can get here in Hoover.
Here's a look at the batting order for Vandy. Brody Johnson went 2 for 4 with a home run and 3 driven in yesterday for a Vanderbilt team that knocked off Kentucky in an 8-5 win after trailing 4-1 in the middle innings. It's a Vandy team which has already set a school record for home runs, top 10 in the country in long balls, and they get a true ace in Aiden King, who did not pitch against Vandy this year. Last year, only one guy in this Vandy batting order got a hit against him, and that was Mancini. What does King bring to the table?
Well, it's a real dude right here. How about let's start with that. The SEC Pitcher of the Year. The whiff rates don't pop. You see right there the slider whiff rate, certainly not what you would expect from a guy that's the SEC Pitcher of the Year. It's heavy fastball usage. There's some deception to it that TrackMan doesn't tell us with some of the whiff rates, but it's fastball command and just enough of a cutter and a changeup to keep you honest, but really a throwback fastball heavy right-handed ace.
Game number 2 of the day. We got a run rule in game number 1, so we are on time, if not a hair early, here for the second game of the day, and then still a doubleheader to come tonight. King, over his last 4 games, has struck out 29 and walked only 3. This will be his 15th start of the season, and he's only been touched for 3 home runs. Berkey, the weather lately has been, it's warm, it's cloudy, the sun will pop out, but for whatever reason, the ball is really carrying so far.
Very offensive day and last couple days at the Hoover Met. So Aiden King going to have his hands full to keep a Vanderbilt offense that 4th in the league in homers, 5th in OPS. They walk, they steal bases, 6th in the league in stolen bases. It's a complete offense, and again, a big selling point for this team getting in the NCAA tournament is it's certainly a position player group capable of playing with anybody.
So here we go. Brody Johnson to lead things off for Vanderbilt. Coming off that 2 for 4 with a 3-run home run yesterday against Kentucky. And he swings at the first. Hayden Yost in foul territory. That's a lot of ground to cover, but he does it nicely. 1 down. Haven't talked about it much yet this year, but the foul territory here at Hoover Met is awfully wide all the way down each line, and a lot of ground to cover in fair territory too here at this big old ballpark.
Spacious ballpark, and you could view it a few different ways. You might say, well, the pitchers love it because it's a big ballpark, but it's not playing very big right now, so all that does is take your outfielders farther apart and open up gaps and alleys all over the field.
And now Mike Mancini, and he looks at a first pitch strike. Your teams played a series last year in which King pitched, and Mancini got him for a double. As I mentioned, that's the only hit for anybody on this Vanderbilt lineup against Aiden King. Low and away, 1-1.
Getting used to the no divisions. The thought of Florida and Vandy not playing just doesn't feel great.
No, that's weird, isn't it?
Glad we're getting them at least once here in Hoover.
Mancini coming off of a 1-for-4 yesterday against Kentucky. And he drives it into center field. Deep, carrying, and up against the fence and into the leather for Kyle Jones.
Whoa.
Hello.
Carrying being the optimal word right there. I mean, this ball just stays in the air, and Kyle Jones putting his length on display here, and that is a face full of fence, folks. I mean, what's the fence smell like, Kyle? Goodness gracious, to hold on to that one? What a play.
Oh, the Vandy hitters uber aggressive against Aiden King here, the first two of them. And Braden Holcomb takes one, 1-0. Holcomb who went 1-for-4 last night, or yesterday, I should say. OPS over 1,000. He's got 14 home runs on the year. There's that sneaky fastball. It's not like it's nothing. It's 96.
Yeah, there's players. It's 94 to 96, and he's going to live there. You're right, Tommy. It's certainly plenty.
And he used it to notch double-digit strikeouts 3 starts ago against Oklahoma with 10 Ks over 7 innings. He threw 114 pitches. The start prior against A&M, he went for 121. But that is certainly not the plan today. And a 4-pitch walk puts Holcomb aboard. Talking with Kevin O'Sullivan prior to the game. They want to use him in a wise way, maybe 75 to 80 pitches, and then Sully will employ the bullpen. Florida's got a lot to play for. He's been to Omaha 9 times, 19 seasons as the head Gator.
9 times. That's obscene.
Florida aiming for a top 8 national seed. And the opportunity to be home the first 2 weekends of the postseason. Logan Johnstone looks at a strike. .297 average with 10 home runs.
It's really, when you talk Aiden King, Tommy, it's not whiff percentage, it's like miss-hit percentage. I mean, the OPS is so low. You're talking about a 527 OPS, like under 200 batting average against. It's not a ton of strikeouts. I mean, it's more than 1 an inning. It's not like he doesn't punch dudes out, but it's not the typical Paul Skeens, Jack Leiter, Kumar Rocker leading the country in strikeouts kind of SEC pitcher of the year. So it's almost even more fascinating the way he operates, because there isn't a ton of whiff.
0-2 is fouled back. No time to dig into it here with 2 outs, but mechanically he's an outlier. And so while he's got good stuff, it's being an outlier with his delivery that really throws batters off the scent. You talk to the A&M guys after he went 8 innings against him, and they were still shaking their head the next day. How did that guy get me out?
Yeah,
respectfully.
Yes, there is a little. No offense. There is a little bit of the comfortable offer with Aiden King that people talk about, because you know you're getting strikes. It's 62% fastball, so he's not giving you a ton to think about. It's a lot of fastballs. Guys just have a hard time hitting it on the sweet spot.
And he takes care of Logan Johnstone. Well, the first 4 pitches of the game had some sizzle to them, including this off the bat of Mancini into the glove of Kyle Jones, and a kiss to the fence to get us started.
been so low, I couldn't see another road ahead of me.
Nearly midway through day number 2. 12 seed Vanderbilt trying to keep its season going against 5 seed Florida. Kevin O'Sullivan's team will be home for the postseason. Whether or not they are a national seed remains to be seen. They got a big boost from Dr. McDonald. Put down his studies just enough to come out and be a superstar, both at the plate and on the mound.
Yeah, he's one of the most interesting stories in the league this year. 19 hits in his last 13 games. A lot of that has been for extra bases, and as he has become a real dude with the bat, his pitching has even gotten better. Just a fascinating story unfolding here down the stretch for the Gators.
And he'll face Tyler Baird. Baird looking for his first win of the season. Freshman from Huntersville, North Carolina. 0-5 with a 4.81 ERA. Vanderbilt's pitching depth took a big hit early in the season. They lost a couple of weekend starters. Slider seems to be special.
It really is. This stuff is special. Don't let the numbers fool you. This kid's got big-time stuff. They used him primarily at the back end of games throughout the first part of the season, but here lately getting a chance to start ball games, making his second straight start.
And dealing with Kyle Jones. And the first pitch strike to Jones. Jones has turned his game up lately. .318 average with 5 home runs. A Florida team which is 10th in the SEC in home runs. But the bulk of those 83 have come late in the season. They homered 10 times in the sweep of LSU last weekend. And 2 weekends prior, they hit 10 bombs at Oklahoma.
It really is an interesting offense, Tommy. Usually you can't play at the top of this league without a top half of the league offense. And overall, they don't have that. But within league play, they certainly do. 5th in the league in conference games in OPS, 7th in homers.
Well, it took the glove off of Baird and it smoked off the leather into center field.
Fastball out over the plate, a sinker that doesn't sink, and that'll knock your glove off, Tommy. You better get in a good fielding position if you're going to throw some flat sinkers in the middle of the plate, especially against a lineup that is trending in the right direction.
That's what Darth Vader did to Luke Skywalker. Leadoff man on, and Brendan Lawson up. There's 104 off the bat. Runner goes, throw down to second. He is not in time.
How about that? That is all scouting report right there. That is Florida having a pregame mindset of this dude doesn't pick early. We've got to tell on when he does pick something, because the Gators, who come into the league not one of the more aggressive base stealing teams, for them to steal right out of the gate tells you they got something.
Now bottom 3rd in the league in stolen bases for the Florida Gators this year. Low and into Lawson. What stands out about Brendan Lawson's game?
The patience, and I think at times it's overly patient. If I was as talented as this dude, you'd have to put me in a straitjacket not to swing.
We've tried that otherwise.
I mean, this guy is 1-1 talented, and it was an odd stretch in the middle part of the year, Tommy. He dealt with some back issues, he dealt with some sickness, and then he really kind of stopped pulling the trigger. It's his first year playing shortstop, so I think there was some defensive issues that might have carried over to the plate, but boy, it's been a really good sign lately. Hey now.
And he sends this one into right field. Logan Johnstone on the run, won't get there, and he goes down to the turf. Jones to third, being waved home. It's a run-scoring double for Brendan Lawson, who was standing at second base before the ball returned to the infield.
Yeah, again, trending in the right direction, and man, is that a good sign for this Florida Gator team, because Tommy, he went 16 games without hitting a homer.
Wow.
He's hit 3 in his last 5, and the extra base hit portion of the ball game is coming back. A rocket in the right center field gap. Logan Johnstone just can't quite get there, and the Gators strike quickly.
And here's Blake Sear, first to have reached against Tyler Baird. They got the start against South Carolina, went 3 2/3 as a starter and a season high 70 pitches. Sear has 11 home runs, 48 driven in. And he got underneath this one to left. Holcomb back. It's still going back. And Holcomb leaps and brings it back into play. Lawson to third. What a play by Braden Holcomb to keep that thing in the ballpark. You're Jared Mitchell talking about it on SEC Now before we got started. The wind is blowing out to left. The ball is carrying, and outfielders continuing to adjust.
Yeah, but Tommy, while it was an athletic play to keep it in the ballpark, like, you've got to get to the wall. This is way too casual early. He never gets to the fence, Tommy. He's 2-3 feet in front of the fence.
Oh, he never touched it.
That ball actually hits the top of the wall, and it's the pathway to the baseball that was just lacked the urgency to get back to the base of the fence, and really that could have been a fairly casual play if he'd have gotten to the fence earlier.
Ethan Surwick at the plate, 2 in scoring position. Lawson only made it to third, waiting to see if Holcomb was going to make the catch.
So, Tommy, this is what we're talking about. When this ball leaves the bat, you know if it's hit high today, you got to get back. And you see what I'm saying? There's just not a lot of urgency to get to the fence. And a tough play, no doubt, but one I think he's capable of making.
Breaking ball away. I would say even if you're unaware of the conditions because it's the first inning, if you've been paying attention to earlier action, I know you're hitting on the backfields.
Sure.
Hey guys, the ball's carrying.
Yes. He played here yesterday.
Yeah. Bouncer up the middle. This will get a run home. Mancini retires Surwick. 2-0 Florida here in the first. Caden McDonald coming to the plate. What a run it has been for Caden McDonald. A few weeks ago, he was sitting in the locker room before the Texas A&M game studying organic chemistry. Berkey, they said, hey, Caden, your name's in the lineup. Really? Yeah. Okay. And he goes right back to study, and then he went out there and just started hitting bombs and throwing shutouts out of the bullpen.
It's been kind of epic, legendary here down the stretch. You know, there was a awfully famous player that got his start in late April, early May for the Gators a few years ago by the name of Jack Caglione. Caden McDonald has made his opportunity pay on a similar note that Cags did in his freshman year. The difference is Cags' freshman year, he didn't pitch any at all. And McDonald has turned into a really reliable bullpen piece, been dominant at times, as he also leads this team in batting in SEC play.
And part of that is success against the fastball. He's hitting .346 against the fastball. Low and away, 1-2. He only had 7 at-bats in the first 2 months of the season, including February. And then in April, got an opportunity to hit .385 and a couple of home runs. And he's caught looking at 97 over the outer third.
That's a pretty nice piece of pitching right there. Four-seamer that just grabs that outside corner. Nice job by Corbin Reynolds. And looked like Caden McDonald thought about a challenge, but you see Tyler Baird there. It's sinker slider. There is some four-seamers in there. Cutter, slider, whatever you want to call the off-speed pitch. It's a firm. There's a bigger sweeper and a little firmer cutter. And we've already seen the premium velocity up to 97.
Here's Case and Bowen. First pitch strike to the catcher. He's got 5 home runs. Excuse me, Carson. Baird bins one in for a strike, 0-2.
There's a bigger breaking ball there.
To short, wait, charges, gloves, fires, got it. First 3 reached, next 3 retired. It's a 2-0 Florida lead. You still got Crackle? Tournament on the SEC Network is presented by Regions Bank, the official bank of the SEC. Kyle Jones using every bit of acreage here at the Hoover Met to haul that one in off the bat of Mike Mancini. And we go to the second with Tommy Gooden coming to the plate for Vanderbilt. You mentioned the Grand Slam in the Mississippi State LSU series. That was freshman Parker who had that one, right?
Yes, Jacob Parker.
Well, Tommy Gooden had one against Tennessee that was unlike anything we've seen. Down 3, pinch hit, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th, and he hits a walk-off grand. He just so happened that his mom Denise was in town for the series from California. Look at this. And this wasn't a wall scraper, Berkey. That is the back of the bleachers.
Yeah. There's never been a 15-10 score that felt less safe than that day at the Hall.
That's a good point.
You and I had that one, and it was as soon as people started, the wind was just howling out of the ballpark, and obviously at 15-10, both teams have been trading punches all game long, and Vandy got a couple dudes on, and Tommy Gooden at that point had not established himself as an everyday guy, but it was right after that weekend where Vandy just said, okay, this guy's just too productive to not run out there every game, and he's made him look smart, having himself a heck of a redshirt freshman year.
Here's Riker Waite. Vanderbilt walked off Tennessee all 3 games.
When Tim Corbin said he had only done it once ever until that series, and then 3 times in one weekend.
Pass diving Surwicken into left field. First hit of the game for the Vandy boys.
You know, it's an interesting game plan against King. Again, he doesn't give you a ton to think about. It's going to be fastball, cutter, changeup, as we see a backside base hit, sneak past Surwick. And there's 2 schools of thought. Like, if you kind of know what you're going to get, what's the hurry? You can hang around and try to wait him out. But the other side is he throws so many strikes. Why not go up there and be aggressive? The challenge with that is you might look up and he's in the 5th inning at 60 pitches. And so, you know, you could see it either way, but part of the reason he's been so efficient all season long is because teams and hitters feel comfortable with what they're getting. But with that, there's a lot of 10 and 12 pitch innings.
One-0 to Rigdon. It's almost like unearned confidence. They're going to challenge here. Carson Bowen. Like, we're confident about it, but still haven't squared it up. First challenge for Carson Bowen. ABS in play here in Hoover.
Oh, yeah.
Good one.
And it's the top of the zone strike that I think will be the most overturned. I think hitters are not used to swinging at that pitch. I think the height of the zone, having a little wiggle room there at the top, is not something the umpires, we don't see them call that high strike a ton. And we've already seen that here early in the week.
By the way, ABS measures where the ball crosses the middle of the plate, not the front or the back. You get 3 challenges through 9 innings. You get another one in extras. You keep all of them if you keep getting them right. And you've got to do it immediately. No help from anybody else. No checking with the video guy. 1-2 now. So you got to get measured to know exactly where your strike zone lies. This was when Vandy was here for practice on Monday.
This will hurt some guys' feelings now. Like this isn't what you just choose to put down in the program.
Yeah, what are you telling the SID?
Just put down 6-1. 6-1.
Yeah, I'm good.
6-1. Don't ask too many questions.
Here's Colin Barzy. Aiden King is the first Florida SEC Pitch of the Year since Brady Singer in 18. Logan Shore earned the honor just 2 years prior, also a Gator. and Justin Hoyman in 2004.
Man, it feels like that list is kind of short relative to all the dudes the Gators have put out. Well, we're getting a little taste of some of the breaking balls here, Tommy. You've seen the changeup that erased Rigdon. That's a pretty good breaking ball there away to Barzy. Again, you can't get through this league the way he has with just heaters. There's enough off speed to keep you honest.
By the way, SEC Pitcher of the Year feels like a golden ticket straight to the big leagues. Liam Doyle is in Double-A for the Cardinals. He's their #1 prospect. Paul Skeen's got it in 23. Chase Dolander up. Although did he get injured the other day, Dolander?
That's a good question.
He had an elbow injury, 1-2 now. Late last week. Did he go? Did not. Yeah, elbow sprain for Chase Dolander, former Tennessee pitcher. 2-2 now to Colin Barzy. 11 home runs on the season. 6 of them have come in 2 individual games. So he is prone to power outbursts. Swing and a miss there on the breaking ball. Back-to-back Ks for Aiden King.
All right, Mr. King. Show us the full arsenal. We saw a nasty changeup earlier. Here's some sweep on that breaking ball. Aiden King with a couple zeros here early.
Skeens won a national championship, won a Cy Young. How about that? Pretty good run. And well, the star of this tournament through day #1 was Missouri catcher Mateo Serna, who took to the ABS challenges like a fish to water. It's been really interesting seeing how it's played out, how we think of the strike zone, and how it's being implemented by catchers primarily who have had a lot of success. Landon Stripling leads off.
Catcher's hitting at about a 68% clip right now.
So that would tell you that we're getting calls changed from balls to strikes more than anything else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the batter's just 3 of 9. So I think that evidence is pretty clear. It's still early. Be interesting to see if those numbers stay true. Now, to be fair, the catchers are clearly getting more leeway to challenge than the hitters are.
Yeah,
by their coaches. So we're not getting as many challenges on the offensive side of things.
Well, what have you learned through 5 games now?
I think what we learned is that the buffer zone is allowing for more strikes to be called than maybe are typically called in SEC games. Again, that buffer zone is an inch on each side. Some wiggle room on the top to bottom relative to the height of the hitter, which is bigger than just the 17-inch white to white of the plate. And because of that, I think some of those, if you want to call them 50-50 balls, are going the way of the pitcher.
So you think about it, it's not just the width of the plate that's added an inch on either side. It's also, I don't know, to simplify it, 99% of the width of the ball. Right? Because all you have to do is catch the edge for it to be a strike. And I was talking with Mike Bianco at practice on Monday, and he said, I think guys are going to learn awfully fast that zone is a lot wider than they're used to.
Yet, offense has been plenty. The games have been fantastic.
We're not hurting for offense.
No, and that's why I think the people I've talked to within the sport are excited to see how this could potentially influence the strike zone to be a little more generous.
2-2, 96 at time from Baird. But you said I'm going to have to travel the country and replace every home plate with a 19-inch plate. I just don't have time for that.
No, Tom, that's not on your resume.
Okay. No, certainly not. Not sure I even own a shovel. You?
I do.
You got a couple of them?
I'm not an inside the house guy, but I'm okay outside the house. I can do some landscaping things.
Okay.
Yeah.
You started that comment as if one would use a shovel inside. I was more leaning towards you probably have a snow shovel thing in Louisville.
I definitely have a couple of those.
For the garden.
Hey, now.
Double play. Tommy Gooden found the baseball, then found the bag.
That ball was smashed. And you better be locked in when you get off the base and get into your stance there from holding the runner to becoming a fielder, because that ball's at his nose, and just a tough break there from Cade Curlin and Landon Stripling as the Gators are finding a lot of barrels here early on.
Well, Vanderbilt has been really good defensively this season, especially at double plays. Now they have a top 10 defense and defensive run saved on the left side of the infield with Johnston and Waite, but they lead the SEC in 20th in the country in double plays turned. Brody Johnson is 10th among third basemen, 11.7 defensive runs saved coming into this weekend. Riker Waite is 9th among shortstops. Launched to right field. Johnstone on the run to the wall. That is gone. It is fair. And Hayden Yost continues this incredible tear. That is his 10th home run of the season. And this dude is scorching hot. He has played 10 games this month. That is his 7th home run of May.
He had a 3-homer game last weekend, and it is crazy to watch a guy catch fire like this. Again, this is an offense, Tommy, that is just not playing like the bulk numbers would indicate. And he took his time with this one, even though I think it landed well fair. And man, is he staying in that fire that he is caught here down the stretch with a quick start to this one.
Fifth home run last 10 days.
Fair ball, baby. Let's fucking go.
Fair ball indeed. Let's go. Kyle Jones with a single up the middle his first time up. Watch out.
Hey, now they're playing a game out there. Keep your eyes on the ball. It started, Tommy, on May 3rd against Oklahoma, the day after you left. He had a couple homers that day. Then he had a homer versus Kentucky on May 10th. Then 3 against LSU on May 16th, and now another here this afternoon. And he has now 9 of his 10 homers in SEC play.
It is awfully impressive for Hayden Yost riding this power wave for the entire Florida team. And a swing and a miss for Kyle Jones. A double play helping out Tyler Baird. And Hayden Yost kept this one fair.
It's like a mid-season acquisition. Caden McDonald and Hayden Yost have turned into quite the duo here in this Florida lineup. And what a piece to have in the 9-hole. Hayden Yost stays red hot.
Judged by the best conference and the best teams in college baseball, but there's also a lot of precedence for a team that's 14 and 16.
14 and 16 against league, in league play for Vanderbilt. Picked up their 15th win against a league opponent with the victory against Kentucky, and that keeps climbing. Or could keep climbing. So the RPI moves a point better yesterday. I'm told that they could make about a 5-point jump with a win today, and then maybe another 4 or 5 with a win the next day. But then as soon as you lose, even though you're playing great RPI teams, then you're going to give those points back, or you're going to give half of them back. So I think you made the point first game today. There's not a lot they can do about the RPI at this point in the season.
No, this is going to come down to the committee thinking that this team is worthy to be in the tournament, and there are other data points to go to. Corb's mentioned just the raw number of wins, and which climbed, 15 wins now in the SEC, which from a committee standpoint, all those league wins count the same. But they're going to have to get past the RPI precedent that has been set here in the modern era, and not just get past it, but I mean, it would be not even close to the prior. I mean, essentially, it's always been inside the top 50.
Okay.
So for Vandy to even get to 65 or 60, you're still nowhere near where that norm for an at-large would be. How much does that matter? That's what we're going to find out.
Swing and a miss for Reynolds. 3 straight Ks for Aiden King.
That breaking ball's got a little something different to it today, Tommy. Again, a slider that coming into the game didn't have an above-average whiff rate to it, but it's got some real depth here in this ball game. Vanderbilt continues to chase after it. It looks like a lineup that's super geared up for the heater, and Aiden King's mixing and matching with the all-speed stuff maybe a little bit more than normal.
Let's see how that changes second time through the order with Brody Johnson leading off. He swung at the first pitch to start the game, and he swings at the first here. It's another first pitch fastball, 0-1.
And as we know, Tommy, none of these decisions are in a vacuum, right? They all can be dependent on who else on the bubble, and how they perform this week and how many bids are stolen.
Hot shot knocked down by Surwick. One hopper over to first, and Surwick has really picked up his defensive game over the last few weeks. 2 down.
Heck of a play right there. Ethan Surwick going to his backhand on a ball that's hit sharply off the bat of Brody Johnston. Knock it down, and then enough to get the athletic Johnston. It's not a beauty contest often playing defense on the corners. Sometimes it's just survive and advance, and Surwick does just enough to record that out.
From the view of Jason Bradley, our third base umpire, here's Mike Mancini. Mancini sent that shot to straightaway center that introduced Kyle Jones to the center field fence. Nothing in one of the former Little League World Series star. So to your point, 14 conference wins gets you into the tournament historically 73% of the time. However, the caveat is the worst RPI for an SEC at large was Alabama in 08, and that came in at 48. You get to 15 wins against SEC opponents, it climbs to 79% of the time. I think we've gotten to the point, though, where, you know, conferences have been expanded. Everything's changing.
Yep.
I think historical relevance still matters, but I don't think we're setting a precedent. Right? I think each year, as the committee gets wiser to how the analytics work, who's gaming the system, how do we judge teams, where is the strength, where is the talent, I think each year it's going to be taken kind of on a case-by-case basis.
And we're adding data points for the committee to consider. We're adding new metrics that are hopefully will get to the place of on par with RPI to be considered.
The other thing to keep in mind when you try to get your schedule together, teams have been banged in years past in all the sports where they didn't play tough enough non-conference schedule, whatever that may be. It's harder and harder to predict with roster churn what a program is going to look like year to year. Not only your own, but when you're scheduling, how good is Texas Tech going to be? How good is UC Irvine going to be? It used to be you could rely on that coach having success and an amount of talent in that program and say, hey, listen, that's a surefire top 20 team or even top 30.
Well, one of Vandy's non-conference series is North Dakota State.
Up the middle and through past Curlin,
who was in the tournament last year and having a rough one this year. So yeah, it's just there's a at the end of the day, it is though just odd. Typically we just think if you get to 15 wins in the SEC, your RPI takes care of itself.
Let me ask you a question. And here's Braden Holcomb. We've been talking about Georgia's RPI relative only to Georgia. What impact did their poor non-conference strength of schedule have on the rest of the league? Because now here's your conference champion, which in years past would be easily a top 10, if not top 5 RPI. And there's still plenty of teams in the top 5, right? Auburn played #1 strength of schedule. But I remember when this conference bolstered men's basketball, the challenge was to improve your scheduling because your schedule impacts the RPI of everyone else in the league.
Yeah, and that's a fair point. Now, Georgia's RPI has gotten to a place where it's not like it's bad. It's just not in line with the caliber of team they have in the in-conference resume that they've put up.
But where would it rank against other conference champions year over year?
High or low, whichever way you want, whichever way you want to call it.
It'd be an outlier.
Yes.
Strikeout as King notches his 5th, taking care of Holcomb. No runs, a hit, and Vandy is stranded 3 through 3. These two programs met with a berth to Omaha on the line, and another matchup this season. This one coming here in Hoover. Tennessee and Arkansas to follow. 10 seed versus the 7 seed. Tennessee coming off of their win yesterday. Then the winner of that one gets Texas. How do you break? Well, I'll ask you in a second.
Okay.
I'll ask you to break that Tennessee season, but we've got a new pitcher in the game for Vanderbilt. This is Matthew Shorey. Faced 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Sophomore from Nashville, replaces Tyler Baird, who gave him 2 innings of work. Shorey making just his 5th appearance. Part of this Vanderbilt staff that has been beleaguered with injury.
Yeah, when you tell the 2026 Vanderbilt story, it's going to have to do with injuries, and specifically injuries to the pitching staff. Matthew Shorey was probably going to be their Sunday starter if he'd have been healthy coming into the season. It's taken all the way to May to get him back on the mound, but really unique look, and it's, you know, small sample size, but he's been very effective in his 5 innings so far. Already struck out 6 hitters. And you think about 2/3 of the Vanderbilt projected starting rotation has essentially been a no-show this year. It's a big reason why they find themselves fighting to be one of the last 4 teams in.
Here's Brendan Lawson. Put the shift on for him in a first pitch strike. What do you make of Tennessee's season?
Eventful. I mean,
I didn't ask for the off season.
Yeah, all of it. You talked about it earlier. We were there when they got swept in Nashville, and there was some real low lows to the Tennessee roller coaster ride this year. But starting with a sweep at Mississippi State, which
Lawson serves it the other way with the shift on, and he is 2 for 2 to start this game.
Careful, y'all. Careful. It doesn't take a great hitter much to remember what it feels like. Brendan Lawson's starting to find that slot again, but this is just kind of nifty right here. A little extend the barrel, under rotate, hold on to the bat. Yeah, a little
wand at the end.
Little big poppy helicopter finish.
Oh, I was going Harry Potter, but okay.
Okay, I like to keep it to baseball players, but you do you.
It's a book.
But it did feel like when Tennessee headed down to Mississippi State, that was a series where if that didn't go their way, they might find themselves on the outside looking in come this time of year. But they swept that series, you know, beat Texas 2 out of 3 in the second to last weekend of the year, beat Oklahoma 2 out of 3 on the road, and you could tell by the way they swung the bat last night, it's an offense and a team that's playing with kind of a newfound swagger.
It's funny to think they had to go out and find their swagger. It had been prominent over the last handful of years.
Yeah, and you look at the home run totals in the league, and all of a sudden they find themselves 3rd in the SEC in home runs, which is a place they've been accustomed to.
Pulled through the left side by Sear. He is now 2 for 2. And the top third of this order is a cool 5 for 6 in this game.
Speaking of offenses that have found their swagger, this Gator group looks pretty scary right now, and I think there is an added confidence, Tommy, when your star gets his strut back. And you look at the last 9 games, I mean, the record's all you need to see, but they're scoring 10 runs a game and hitting almost 3 homers per. But as Brendan Lawson kind of refines his magic, it just takes the pressure off everybody else. And of course it helps when Hayden Yost is playing like Babe Ruth in the 9-hole.
Mm-hmm. Off the end of the bat of Ethan Surowick. Were you there for Shorey's debut in the Louisville game?
Yes, midweek? I was. Yeah. It was electric. I mean, it was pretty impressive.
They'd seen it in those last few bullpens before he went out there in the midweek against Louisville. Corbin said after the game, velocity was good. He was able to throw strikes, and that the touch and feel coming off of his injury is a big deal. Could have taken a medical red shirt.
Well, we've seen this with a few. We saw Jim Schlossnagle put a young pitcher in the game in the last series. A lot of these coaches seem to feel pretty good that the 5-year rule is coming down the pike.
Interesting, that Schlossnagle mentioned that it was automatic almost, and so it's not wasting a year. It's a year that would count against your 5 regardless healthy or not.
That's right. You get 5 with, I guess there probably is still going to be some medical exemptions to that, maybe, but.
Well, if there isn't, it would really be a shame for baseball more than any other sport because of the prevalence of Tommy John and the lengthy recovery time tied into it.
I mean, look no further than Hunter Elliott. I mean, he essentially missed 2 seasons.
Right. And I'm not saying an ACL is easy to come back from, but the length of time to get back from TJ. Here's the 3-2 to Serwick, who grounded out to second. His first time up, and he pops this one into right field. Johnstone into foul territory. Catch made, tag made by Lawson. In fact, both runners are able to advance.
Well, not exactly how you draw it up in the get them over game in BP, but a deep fly out, foul territory to right will certainly do the job. And this ball looked like it was destined for the berm, and by the end of it was almost fair. Logan Johnstone kind of fading back with the breeze pushing it back, and now what are we going with? Dr. Otani, Mac Tani?
I like Doc Tani or Dr. Otani. I think you got to have Doctor in there because that's his future. How thick do you think his organic chemistry book is?
I really don't care to find out, to be honest with you. I'm good.
Kevin O'Sullivan was steaming mad after the Game 1 loss to Oklahoma a few weekends ago, and he challenged the entire team. Really went around and challenged guys one by one, and McDonald had already started to hit because he hit in the A&M series, but he just looked at McDonald and said, "And you're going to hit." McDonald just probably said, "Yeah, well, I got a final, so I'm going to study, and then I'll hit."
You just keep doing what you're doing.
And that McDonald performance in Game 2 against Oklahoma was stuff of legends. Through 3 1/3 scoreless in relief, and he had 2 home runs and 2 doubles, and all 4 of the balls he put into play were 115 plus.
Yeah, that was a ball striking display. Rory McIlroy would have been proud of that one. It was a laser show to the highest degree. Hit some rockets out in the gap, a couple that sailed over the wall.
He doubled his home run total in one game.
Through what, 3 1/3?
Yeah. He's been a little strikeout prone since, especially in the LSU series last time out.
Well, it's interesting watching him swing the bat. It's a really flat move that borders on being a little bit kind of steep and across, but boy, when he squares it up, he can really backspin it.
3 for 14 against Louisville. A couple of doubles and 3 driven in.
See him just work kind of below that ball, just cutting it just a click.
He struck out 6 times in the LSU series and sends this one foul. He didn't come out of nowhere to Sickles High School in Tampa. He was the Florida 6A Player of the Year and led Sickles to its first state championship in school history, and he was second in the state in home runs. He was also 11-1 on the mound with a .87. They won 30 games that year. He as a pitcher won 11 of them. Donald down on strikes, 2 down with 2 aboard.
Nice pitch right there by Matthew Shore. A little backdoor breaking ball. Kind of locked McDonald up, who then went with a bit of an emergency hack there to try to foul it off. You can see he's late on a breaking ball because he just I think he recognized that one away out of the hand and realized it was turning back into the zone. A really well executed two-strike breaking ball.
Here's Carson Bowen. Senior from Anaheim Hills, California, out of Orange Lutheran, where he won a Rawlings Gold Glove his senior year. Four-time member of the USA national team. Spent 3 years at TCU, and last year was second team All Big 12.
I got to play golf with his pops in Gainesville earlier this year.
Did you take his money?
The truth?
Well, yeah. I mean,
yes.
It's between us.
Yes. Me and Dave Neal cashed in on a little team game. Sully's father-in-law and Mr. Bowen, and we had ourselves just a friendly match. There were a few three-footers that were told to put a coin on it, though.
It's ball 4-pitch walk. It's Bowen on, and the bases are loaded.
Is that good? It's pretty good. Put a coin on it. You know?
Pretty good. And here's Landon Stripling. And Scott Brown's going to have a word with Matthew Shorey. There is some stirring in the Vandy bullpen, but no throwing just yet. That'll start in a moment. We'll talk with Alex Kranzler next half inning. He was fantastic out of the bullpen yesterday for Vandy. Brennan Seibert just started throwing. And on the knuckles, 0-1. Lawson at third, Sear at second, and Bowen at first. A couple of singles and a walk.
I don't think Vandy, they just, you know, obviously left on left here, but you just don't have any margin for error. So you got to fire all your bullets to hang around here as long as possible. Seibert's been one of their better guys here down the stretch. Somebody at some point, though, is going to have to give them some length in this one. Kranzler was that guy yesterday.
1-2 to Stripling. Waved at. And that closes the inning and leaves the bases loaded for the Gators.
This felt like a big one, Tommy.
Yes.
Matthew Shorey, it wasn't pretty, but he posts a 0. Big sweeping breaking ball that goes the way of the Doors, and game stays 3-0.
Kentucky. And after Connor Fennell allowed 4 runs in 4 2/3, this guy Alex Kranzler came in and shut the door on the Cats.
Yeah, it was a carve piece yesterday from Mr. Kranzler, who features the whole kitchen sink. We're going to talk to him about it here in a second. He can throw, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 pitches at you. Alex, how many pitches would you say are actually at your disposal on any given outing?
I'd say 6. I mean, recently I've only used 4, but I got 6 in there kind of whenever I want it. It's just kind of hitter to hitter and just outing to outing, see what's working.
Well, when you say the phrase "see what's working," I heard an interview with Skeens the other day. I don't know if you heard it, but he's like, I think he features 5 or 6 as well. But he's talking about how some days, a lot of days, there's just a couple that just stink. Now, his definition of stink might be different than most, but how do you go about that when you have that many pitches? Like how many bullets will you fire before you're like, man, I might need to put that one in my back pocket today?
I mean, I'd say in the first inning you kind of have an idea of what you got, but I never really would ever quit on a pitch entirely because you can kind of figure it out as you get deeper into games. There's been games where my slider's been pretty bad to start a game and then it kind of comes back later in the game, or really any pitch. So it's kind of just got to know the feel out of the hand and just kind of see what's in front of you, see what's working, see what the hitter's doing, and kind of just move from there.
Logan Johnson leads off the 4th inning for Vandy. Heart of the order due up for the Commodores. Your 3rd season in the program. What have you learned about yourself playing for Tim Corbin?
Just so much. I mean, and it stems, on the baseball field, off it, just being able to listen to a guy and learn from a guy like that with all the experiences through just this level of baseball has just been huge. Just really helped me, I think, mentally in my game, and just I'm extremely grateful for it.
I remember years ago I was talking to one of his guys who's in the big leagues, and I said, hey, you played for Tim Corbin at Vanderbilt, what'd you learn? And he said, I learned how to brush my teeth. And I started laughing. He goes, no, seriously, he taught us how to brush our teeth. I think the life lessons that he imparts on you guys in the classroom are really, really impressive.
No, yeah, I mean, that one's a staple every year, and it's one of the more fun ones, I'd say, definitely as well.
What's the secret to brushing your teeth, according to Tim Corbin?
Teeth is he said it's what everybody's first impression is their smile, and you got to make them look good, and you got to actually work at it. It's not something that just happens. That's his big message in that one.
What does it take to make Tim Corbin smile?
A lot, that's for sure.
Tommy Gooden at the plate with one on and nobody out.
As experienced as he is, he doesn't have a lot of experience with your all's current state of affairs, where Vandy comes in here.
Here's Serwick chased by Lawson, and Lawson makes the catch, 1 down.
You guys come in here, ball accords squarely on the bubble, kind of fighting to be one of the last 4 in. What has been different about Corbs maybe at the end of this year than you've experienced the first 2 years as far as his messaging to a mostly young team?
No, definitely just trying to let us play loose. I mean, just stay in the fight has been one of the main messages, and just just go out there and compete in the present, one pitch at a time, not really worry about the outside noise, because at the end of the day that's not going to help us. So just staying loose and just having fun is the big one.
1 down with Riker Waite at the plate, and Aiden King on the mound for Florida. I'm curious. So Tim Corbin,
attaboy.
Yeah, Waite reaches with a hit by pitch. He assigned you number 77. Did he tell you why, or have you learned why?
I actually asked him that after my freshman year, and all he told me was, you look like a 77. But I think a secret reason that I've kind of just brainstormed myself is, you ever watch the movie Grater?
Yeah.
I think it might be a cheesecake comp, but I don't know.
Is that the lineman from Arkansas?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
A cheesecake comp. I didn't see that coming. I feel like that's his answer every time people ask him about numbers. He just, he looked like a 51 or whatever the case might be.
Yeah, the great Brandon Burlsworth.
Yeah.
Burlsworth Trophy named after the former Arkansas offensive lineman.
Is that like a topic of conversation within the clubhouse, like for freshmen especially? Like, what? Wait, he gave me 71? Like, what? Do you guys, is that like a thing, or do you guys just accept it and keep your mouth shut? How does that go?
No, there's definitely a little bit of that. There's always, trying to find comps there. But, I don't think anybody will ever know the real reason.
I think everything he does within the program has a reason, and I think that part is fascinating. How much time do you spend in a game like today watching the opposition pitcher? You know, here's the SEC pitcher of the year on the mound for Florida. Do you study? Are you a kind of a pitching nerd in that regard?
No, definitely. I mean, I can't watch baseball without trying to pick something up. And honestly, I think it hurts me sometimes because I'll try to do stuff I shouldn't be doing. But I definitely try to, pick up whatever I can.
Well, you should be doing in-game interviews. Thanks for the time, man. That was entertaining.
All right, thank you, guys.
Appreciate you. Lawson playing a little defense too.
Aiden King, SEC Pitcher of the Year. Do you take pride in some of the individual accolades that your program has garnered over the years?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the more special ones. And getting Player of the Year. I think in the 18 years, we've only had 3 pitchers that have gotten Pitcher of the Year. Logan Shore being one of them, Brady Singer being another, and obviously Aiden this year. So what a great accomplishment for him.
Sully, the offense looks a little different here over the last few weeks than maybe it did. I know you guys battled a lot of injuries, but part of that was Brendan Lawson kind of going through a rough patch. What do you think has led to his resurgence here the last couple weeks?
I think it's just nothing more than just having stringing a couple of good games together. I don't think it's anything more than that, and then obviously building your confidence back up, and I do think it's helped his defense quite a bit too.
Looking at the game through your lens, you come with a certain level of intensity, even though your approach right now belies that because you seem very chill. I was told that after game 1 at Oklahoma, you were very honest with your team and what you expected out of them. How do you feel about how they have responded to that moment?
I think they've responded great, honestly, and we haven't had many meetings this year. It's their team, and getting everybody healthy, I think, was a big part of that. Getting back, Barb's was back in the bullpen, and some guys improving, and obviously Caden stepping up, and Lawson getting back on track. There's a bunch of things that, and obviously let's not forget about Liam Peterson and the outings he's had the last couple of times out.
Thanks for the time, Sully. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
I appreciate you guys.
Hayden Yost has been okay too.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's Kevin O'Sullivan, and new pitcher is Brendan Cyber. He gets a ground ball out of Cade Curlin, and there's one down. So Cyber now facing the red-hot Yost, a junior from Newport Beach, California. Beautiful town right on the coast. 5-1 with a 4.81 ERA.
Sinker slider, and you see exactly what he gets to start the outing. A weekly hit ground ball at Riker weight.
And a sinker in for a strike on the first pitch to Hayden Yost. In for a strike, 0-2. And a line drive knocked for Hayden Yost, who is 2 for 2. Let's take a look at his home run back in the second.
Boy, it has been a barrel show so far for Hayden Yost. A no-doubter right down the right field line. His 9th SEC homer of his 10 total homers. and then a 109-mile-an-hour rocket for a single back through the box. This Gator lineup looks pretty scary right now, Tommy.
Sure does. And here's Kyle Jones at the top of the order. .320 average with 5 home runs. Jones transferred in from Stetson. He's an Athens, Georgia native. I like what Sonny said. Pitches a strike, throw down to second is a strike. Bang, bang, and they take Hayden Yost off the base paths. What a throw from freshman catcher Corbin Reynolds.
Well, we saw him try him early with Kyle Jones after a leadoff base hit. Now Hayden Yost takes his try. And this is as good as it gets from Corbin Reynolds. A snap transition. Nice job there by Mancini, letting that ball travel. And the single is retired.
And the count 1-2. Walk viewers through what you mean by letting the ball travel as a middle infielder in that moment.
There's just a tendency sometimes as a middle infielder to go reach for the baseball, and then you end up coming back and being long with your movements back towards the runner. And the ball's always going to move faster than your arm is. So just the patience to let the ball get to the base as opposed to going out there and reaching for it can sometimes be the difference between out or safe.
Outside with 94, 2-2. Jones had a big series in Athens back in his hometown early in the year. Went 6 for 11 with a home run. Playing at North Oconee High School. They went 73-6 when he was there. Back-to-back state championships. And a big strikeout from Brandon Seibert. Got the caught stealing, and then a K faces the minimum in the 4th. The day Kyle Jones making an early defensive impact on the game and the fence. And then Hayden Yost making an impact on Mr. Rawlings for his 10th home run of the season. Aiden King doing Aiden King things.
I've been impressed with the off-speed stuff here in this one. And 8 consecutive games with 5+ Ks just shows you just how consistent he's been. And efficient would also be a word that you would use with Aiden King. Again, taking the mound here, 4 innings, 54 pitches. It's just kind of how he rolls.
The wind has shifted. It was blowing out to left. This one's on the ground. Gloved on the side by Lawson, 1 down.
It's interesting that Sully said Brendan Lawson's defense has gotten better as his offense has picked up. And you would not know watching the game today some of the struggles Brendan Lawson's had defensively today. He's looked fantastic. Went ranged and caught a pop-up, the inning-ending double play last frame, and then charging that ball and running through it and throwing a strike. Like, he's looked really good defensively as well.
Here's Corbin Reynolds. First pitch low and away to Reynolds, who's over 1 with a strikeout. You like Lawson's overall game?
A little bit. I don't know if you noticed.
A lot of like in that game.
A lot of like.
Freshman catcher to third. Surwick. 2 down. And the efficiency continues for King.
And it's an offensive left side of the diamond for Florida. But if they're going to be able to pick it like they have early in this one, again, with the way they're playing on offense, it's a pretty scary group.
Yeah, nobody's mistaking Ethan Surwick for Jonathan India, who didn't commit a single error when he was over at third base for the Gators. However, the improved defense for Lawson, the improved defense for Surwick. I've said this before, first pitch strike to Johnson with the fastball. You're allowed to improve over the course of a season.
That's right. Yeah, and it's clearly you're talking about 2 players that are doing it for the first time every day in this league as well. But Florida 12th in the league in fielding percentage coming into this SEC tournament. But like a lot of their overall game, have been playing really, really well down the stretch.
Yeah, the 57 errors are the 3rd most, and there's 21 on the left side of the infield. Surwick with 9, Lawson with 12. But a top 10 pitching staff in strikeout to walk ratio and walks per 9. Oh. Brody Johnson is 0 for 2. Like the nickname Brody Barrels?
I can play with that, yeah.
King didn't like that one either, and appeal denied by J.J. January down the first baseline.
We've had some pretty high 2027 draft picks already play today with Aiden King and Tomas Valenkas, Brody Johnston, Brendan Lawson. There's going to be some guys that could be top 10 picks next year.
And it's over the glove of Surwick and rolls into left. Johnson on his horse, and he will go in standing up. He's tight with Diego Pavia, and now Johnston standing up at second. They said he is country strong. You could see it that time.
Yeah, took it off the hands and dumped it into left field. This is part of the deal here, Tommy. The defense has to. Yeah, I'm thinking about our producer Joe McCoy. But the defense has to play so deep because of the way the ball's traveling. Look how far Blake Sear has to run to get to this ball. I mean, that's an easy double on a ball that at a lot of parks in this league, if you had a line drive over a third baseman's head, you're not even thinking about going to.
Nobody would compare Hoover, Alabama with Denver, Colorado, but are there some similarities in how you play at Coors Field in terms of outfield depth?
Say that one more time. Sorry. I was talking to Joe.
Oh.
Go right ahead.
No, you guys go ahead and have your conversation. I'll just sit here and Vin Scully this thing. 0-1 to Mancini. Similarities defensively with the outfield at Coors Field and Hoover?
Very similar.
Thank you.
And when it's carrying like this, the similarities are actually kind of right on. I mean, you feel like if you hit a ball good, it goes out of the park. If you miss hit it, the outfielders have to run a mile to get to it. And then the only difference I would say is Coors Field typically has a slower grass surface.
Sure.
And the ball gets through this infield much faster. But it is interesting. You tend to think of a big ballpark as a pitcher friendly, but it's actually very appeasing to the hitter's eye because of what appears to be so much space between the fielders.
It's like a wide fairway.
It is.
Low and away.
Yeah, so
where is Blake Sear?
Yeah, look at it. I mean, look how much ground he has to cover And so these are the kinds of decisions, like Brody Johnson hits that, and he knows it's a double. There's not even any thought about it.
King has lost some of that efficiency after retiring the first 2 batters on just 6 pitches. The double by Johnston and now a walk to the 2-hole hitter Mancini. 3rd walk of the game from Aiden King.
Well, I would assume this is going to be Aiden King's last inning regardless, just based on what we heard from Sully. But they sure would like to see him get through it.
It is a long, slow walk. Kevin O'Sullivan doing his best Wayne Graham impersonation.
His pace has gotten more on the par with Mike Martin as his career has gone on. 11 could slow a ball game down now.
Well, 11 was always walking uphill. Barbary is getting loose in the bullpen. Sully mentioned his name as a guy that excited to get back. Came back late in the season. And Braden Holcomb trying to walk and struck out. Sully's walking like yesterday was leg day.
Maybe he's a little sore this afternoon.
Well, it's fastball command has started to leak for Aiden King. You think Barbary faces Johnstone one way or another?
I do. I think just especially relative to the last few hitters.
This one headed to the gap. Johnstone's going to score. Mancini may as well. He is on his horse around 3rd. That one got all the way to the fence. And it's a 2-run double from Braden Holcomb, and we've got a brand new ball game.
Braden Holcomb doing what he does best. Tied for 3rd in the SEC in doubles. Tied for 3rd in the league in hits. I mean, this kid has had a fantastic season for the Commodores. Really made a big jump year over year. There's a look at the huge gaps here at the Hoover Met. That is a no-doubter 2 RBI double, and Vandy with a couple quick outs, and then double walk double. We got ourselves a brand new ball game.
It's like they're going to let him pitch to Johnstone.
Maybe this might be a deal where Sully just wants to get him to 75, 80 pitches. Who knows? But there's also a lot of trust built up that Aiden King can grind his way through this one.
Johnstone hasn't put one in play yet in Hoover. 3 Ks and 2 walks yesterday, a K and a walk today.
This looks like he's running away from his arm a little bit, Tommy. Notice a lot of the misses are arm side, where it just looks like he's starting to fly open a bit and losing the baseball in towards right-handers and away towards lefties.
Indeed, again, 3-0. And right down the middle for a strike. 3-1. In the air to right center field. This one will come off the wall. 3rd double of the inning, maybe a triple. Johnstone going for 3rd. The relay is late, and it's a run-scoring triple for Logan Johnstone. And Vanderbilt has tied this game with a 3-run 5th. All 3 runs this inning coming with 2 down.
Well, Aiden King shaking his head. 2 outs and nobody on. And then it is turned into a slugfest by the Vandy boys, and that'll be it for the SEC Pitcher of the Year. This one looked like it was destined to touch them all. It hits right off the top of the wall. And man, has Vandy flexed some serious muscle here with the top half of this order.
First triple of the season for Logan Johnstone, his first hit here in Hoover. And into the line for the SEC Pitcher of the Year, Aiden King. Jackson Barberry, the new pitcher for the Gators. Late season pickup for Florida. He was injured for about a month. Sophomore from Snellville, Georgia, 6'4", 205. This is just his 16th appearance. And 43 Ks and 28 2/3. That is a real fastball.
Yeah, it's big stuff. They've got a couple guys in that bullpen that can hit triple digits, and Barberry has done it 4 times already this season. Just made 1 appearance since early April, and that was last weekend against LSU, where he struck out 3 in an inning and 2/3. So a piece that they are very excited about getting back here for the stretch run.
Lefty's hitting .304 against him on the season, and facing no lefty Tommy Good.
It's really just 2 pitches with Barberry. Fastball, slider. And again, that fastball is going to sit anywhere between 97 and 100. And the breaking ball more in the 85 to 88 range.
Bainey's been late to the party, but when they've thrown it, it's been a rager. Off the tape, 1-2. First fastball from Barberry, sitting at 99. Think we get another one here?
Yeah, just a little easy cheese. It's a warm one today, so one thing's for sure. These guys they're
loose?
Yeah, they're not struggling to get loose.
Triple digits.
We've arrived at triple digits, I believe. Is that the first one this event?
No, we saw one yesterday, I think.
Okay. Maybe Sheeran from LSU?
No, one of my games. Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
It's been a long week. It's only Wednesday.
Oh, so good.
Would it have been Jelkin?
Maybe.
I can tell you were really dialed into my broadcast yesterday. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, I did. I just wasn't dialed in on the radar gun.
It's hard to see when you're watching on your phone. Swing and a miss, 99 upstairs, and Barberry finally finishes off the 5th after 3 runs with 2 outs.
the real fun just getting started.
Run straight for the breakaway.
The celebration is on.
Rotational in Omaha over the years, especially recently. These are the last 6 national champions.
That ain't bad. You know, if you like winning them all, maybe a little selfish.
Yeah, if you like winning the last game of the season every year. This is Brendan Lawson, and swings at the first foul. Lawson is 2 for 2 today, double and a single. All 6 of those champions, Berkey, came to Omaha via different routes, right? LSU dominated through 23 with star power. Ole Miss, when they won it, kind of came in the back door. Do you think of those 6 teams? Do you think of any one thing, one common denominator that they all had?
I'd say really talented upperclassmen. Some of them have become big league stars. Some of them were maybe just incredible college players like
Tim Elko,
or who's actually made it to the big leagues. I was thinking more Tanner Allen, Rowdy Jordan, you know, that kind of group. And I think that's part of the story why so many of the defending champions have struggled the next year, because it's just hard to replace some, you know, not just their production but their presence within your program.
3-1 now to Lawson, and Vandy flips Johnston to the right side with a shift on. Just missed. And Lawson reaches again.
The man knows the strike zone. Second in the SEC in walks. And even when he was struggling, he was still getting on base. That's why he's just stayed in that 2-hole. Spits on a couple close ones right there. Second lowest swing percentage in all of the SEC.
Wow.
Brendan Lawson.
4th time in 5 innings, Florida has put the leadoff man on. Here's Blake Sear. And there goes Lawson. Throw from Reynolds is high, and he anchored the bag. So go back and look how those national champions did in the following conference season. And it's a window into what you're talking about. This is the SEC record for each of the last 6 national champions the following year.
Whew. I mean, that one of them had a winning record the next year. And that is not an accident. It's a clear picture of, number one, how good and how old you have to be to win the whole thing. And then number 2, how small the margins are in this league, because as soon as you lose some of those upper echelon players that are so hard to replace, it can flip on you real quick.
No doubt. Eddie Newsom nearly got Van Gogh. 1-1 to Sear. In for a strike. And throwing the wrinkle of the transfer portal and trying to recruit at the same time that you're trying to win a national championship. Sears got a double and a single. Foul of third.
It's a messy conversation, but the timing of the portal opening as the final 8 teams that are left in the country are trying to win a national championship really is kind of a bummer, because the whole point's supposed to be to get to Omaha and win the whole thing. All those guys are trying to keep their rosters intact and add to their rosters for the next year. And they're doing it while the whole rest of the country is home and able to host and spend time with and do all the things you have to do to attract that current group of portal players. And it's just a huge source of stress for the 8 coaching staffs that are in Omaha. And, you know, college basketball waits to open the portal until after the Final Four. It would be awesome to see that in college baseball.
It's the day after the Final Four.
Day after the Final Four it opens.
These are the longest active NCAA tournament streaks. Vandy and LSU projected to miss, have that streak come to an end. It's also a constant worry of roster management. This time of year, it's constant meetings. Who do we want to bring back? Who do we have space for? Who's coming in? 2-2. Way high to left field. Holcomb back. This ball is going to carry, and it is gone. Blake Sears' 12th home run of the season, his 3rd hit of this game. Came off the bat at 32 degrees. I thought it would have been a little bit higher.
That's how you handle a response from Vanderbilt, as he does a nice job. Just a really tight turn on a two-seamer that's borne in on him. Tight turn, keep those arms connected to the torso. Holcomb, he got back to the fence there a little bit earlier, but watches that one sails over the wall. And Florida answers Vandy's 3-spot with 2 of their own.
6th 3-hit game of the season already for Blake Sears.
3 for 3 in the 5th is a nice way to start the game.
House money.
There's nothing better than feeling good at the plate and your number keeps coming up in the order. Now the opposite is also true. You're like, wait, I'm up again. Haven't had a hit in a week.
We've already had 20 home runs in now 6 games of the SEC tournament. All of last year's tournament featured 20 home runs.
I think we're going to top that.
You think?
Yeah.
Odds are.
I mean, it really is wild. Like that ball said 32-degree launch. I'm thinking more like 40.
Yeah, I was going at least 38.
Trackman blinks sometimes. You know that, right? Like whether it does or not, I'm just going to go with that. But it's just crazy. You hit a ball in the barrel with some height today, and it's got a really good chance to fly out of here.
Temperature in the upper 80s. The feel like temperature is 93.
Old Glory's moving pretty good out there.
Yeah, the app says 12 miles an hour. And Cyber has lost command the last couple. So coming into this game, we had set a tournament record through 5 games. Stephen Milam homered last night, his 4th straight. Look at that, a ground ball. It's a base hit.
Those work too. Especially those that are 109 off the bat. Ethan Serwick hits it really hard. And
yeah, just as Vandy in the 6th inning against Kentucky, they had 4 hits, all of them singles, paired with a couple of walks. That was the inning that turned that game around in an 8-5 win against Kentucky yesterday. Scott Brown out to chat with Cyber. .30 pitches in for Cyber.
Well, if it turns into a bullpen game, it's advantage Florida. And obviously it already has. Vandy's been in their bullpen since the 3rd, and Florida just flipped the ball over to their bullpen. And so the arms that Florida has stacked up, including the guy up to bat right now, that could potentially hold this lead.
You think we'll see McDonald out of the pen?
I mean, he certainly could. Now, I don't know that Barberi is all that stretched out. I would think probably the most you'll get from him is 2 innings or so, maybe 40 pitches.
Nothing in 1 to Caden McDonald, 2-way player for Florida. Would it count as a Todd Peterson Memorial Trophy if Caden McDonald can have a good 2-way performance?
I like that. We need to do that. That needs to be a thing.
And he sends this shot to center. Rigdon almost overran it. How about the movement on that one? Put a shot tracer on it.
112. Whew. 112 can make a baseball do some funny things. This ball is nuked. And I'm with you, Rustin. I thought this ball was headed more towards right center, too. Look, it takes off towards right center and then hooks back late. That thing caught a seam. I don't know what that was.
This is Carson Bowen. He's over one of the ground out.
I saw that happen to Mike Cameron once out in center field, and he made an incredible recovery to catch a ball like that, and he got to.
He played with the cool Oakleys, didn't he?
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
He was all cool team. Like him and Andrew Jones were fighting that out every year to be named to the all cool team. But he got to second base and said, "Man, I've been playing center field a long time. I've never seen anything like it."
Little squibber to first. Gooden gets handcuffed and recovers just in time with Cyber dancing to find the bag.
Nicely done. Don't panic. That won't be the first play on the Tommy Gooden highlight reel on defense, but it's an out nonetheless. Sometimes you just gotta wrestle with it a little bit. Nice job by Cyber getting over there and finishing the play.
So you mean to tell me that Mike Cameron comes into second base and you had a conversation with him? Is there anybody you didn't talk to?
Well, you can imagine I was fairly talkative and curious about what the heck had just happened the inning before.
That one off the leather, gets to the backstop. Surwick goes to third. Was anybody, like, were there guys that didn't want to talk?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And what would you do?
You'd
give them their space, or you'd just stay on?
No, you knew that on the front end.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not messing with, like, some of those guys who are not there to be your friend, and that's okay. But if you'd like to have a conversation, I'm all ears.
Are you, though?
Yes.
I think you're more mouth than ears in that scenario.
It's both. I like to hear people's story.
Stripling is 1 for 2. 1-1 now. 3 for 9 with runners in scoring position for Florida. Pulled down the line, foul. The netting is the enemy of that kid. He'll probably get it anyway, but he thought he was going to make a play with the glove, and now the ball boy is everybody's best friend. Fend for yourself, fellas.
That's a good day.
Is that a small kid or a big glove?
That looked like a big glove.
To second. Mancini takes care of it. But a 2-run home run for Blake Sear. Sear surveyed this one for his 12th home run of the season.
Boy, the Gators are kind of scary right now. Danger up and down the lineup. Blake Sear gets into the act.
Five hits for Vanderbilt, 5 runs on 10 hits for Florida. Vandy trailed by 3 yesterday and came back to win 8-5 over Kentucky. It'll be Riker Waite, Rustin Rigdon, and Colin Barzy here in the 6th inning for Vanderbilt. Jackson Barberry is on the mound for Florida. So Waite has had a really good defensive season for Vandy. He is number 6 among shortstops in defensive runs saved. Here's a guy who barely played last year. He was behind Jonathan Vastine at short. He played in 8 games, and none of those 8 were decided by fewer than 7 runs. He only got 3 at-bats in this season. Tim Corbin, talking to him in the fall when there's a bunch of suitors for that shortstop position, said, "This is yours if you go get it." And I think if Tim Corbin shares that message with you as a young player, even if you're not outwardly confident, that's a good boost to the confidence to go earn it.
No question. I think when a Hall of Fame coach tells you he thinks you can be the guy, that helps you stick your chest out a little bit. That's a second hit by pitch in this ball game, but he had to go do it too. He went and did it in summer ball. He had to own it in fall ball when there were 3 or 4 guys taking ground balls there every day. And
yeah, he got 29 games in at shortstop in the Cape, which was a lot more innings in the field than he had with Vandy, and he's trying to walk through the pain of this one.
Well, second on the club, really first on the team in on-base percentage, and part of his game is he does these kinds of things. He'll take a hit by pitch, he'll walk, he can bunt for a hit, and it's a player that is very comfortable with playing his game and not feeling like he has to fit some prototype.
Comfortable is not a word you use to describe his feeling right now.
No, not real comfortable currently, but he gives you a little something of everything. We just showed 12 for 15 on the base pass, and then as you commented, Tom, he's just been a rock on defense. I mean, just rock solid on that side of the ball.
Here's Rustin Rigdon, nicknamed Rooster, and he pops up the first. Jones is a long run, lost the hat, shades on, 1 down. We're seeing a lot of dudes lose the hat. What do you got on that? Just elite speed, or can we do a better fitting?
Yeah, probably the latter. Probably need a little snugger fit. That's some good flow, though.
Yeah.
You know, he's trying to give himself a little room to grow.
It's mad lettuce. Colin Barzy 0 for 2. Barzy injured his shoulder early this season against Eastern Michigan. He had 3 home runs in the season opener against TCU. He was the first Commodore since Connor Kaiser in 18 to do that. Pitches low, sidearm to second. You think Riker Waite is like, hold on, you want me to run? I just got drilled in the leg.
It's a great setup tactic. Look, he looks like he's moving just fine.
He is.
You know, sell the leg injury and then do the motorcycle vroom vroom at second base.
The gooseneck handlebars and everything.
That's it.
Barzy fouls it back.
I saw a dude the other day on a what do we call those? A
Harley?
Yeah, but what in there? A chopper, right?
Chopper, yeah. Sure.
With dog in tow
Mickey
on
Thompson
his lap.
Slipped? What?
Yes. It was pretty unique.
I didn't think you noticed dogs. I thought they were invisible in your eyes.
Here we go.
2-2. You saw Peter, the golden retriever, at a Vandy game earlier this season.
Good to see him.
It's so not true.
Didn't need to meet him, but it was good to see him. I mean, Kirk. I did want to meet Kirk. That's just true.
He hits Barzy swinging to his strikeouts. And Corbin Reynolds coming to the plate. Dari was telling me that they hung out with Derek Curiel's golden retrievers in the outfield yesterday.
That's
plural.
Good for them. How did he enjoy it? Hope they had a blast.
And the freshman catcher Reynolds. Corbin Reynolds went to Corbin's camp as a 10-year-old and afterwards told his dad, Kelly, I'm going to play for Tim Corbin someday. Great article by Dylan Tovitz, SI.com, and talked about the prospect camp that he came to later as a sophomore. And was the entire family was so impressed with the way that Tim Corbin runs his camps. And part of that was Maggie Corbin knew Corbin Reynolds by name. And she was serving food and greeted him. Said, wait, even the coach's wife knows who I am. Recruiting knows no limits. Pop up to close the 6. 5-3 Gators.
This dude was, I guess.
First appearance at the plate.
What did Paul Maneri tell you?
He's like, yeah, did you ever hit in high school? I go, I hit bombs. He's like, all right, swing away.
Oh, he tattoos it off the wall. A 2-run double for Todd Peterson.
Coach, I'll be honest, I didn't hit in high school. My coach
What?
didn't let me.
So you lied to me?
I wanted to swing.
LSU folk hero Todd Peterson back in 2018 here in Hoover.
One of my favorite moments ever here.
I can't disagree with you.
We had a full confessional at the end.
Coach, I lied to you. I mean, the innocence of Paul Maneri to just put blanket trust when he goes, hey, Peterson, you ever hit? Yeah, man, I drop bombs.
I just need to know how good Todd Peterson's high school team was. That somebody that can come in and hit a ball off the wall in an SEC baseball game can't. He's a PO in high school?
Well, he went to Lake Mary High School. Isn't that where Cruz went?
Maybe. If you say so. You're the high school expert.
Yeah, I am. Graduated and everything. Was a 7th-round pick of the Nationals and last pitched in the Mexican League. And this one muscled into right center field. Whoa, did he get it? He did! What a play by Rustin Rigdon.
Boy, that is a big-time play out there in center field by Rustin Rigdon. And just a case where Cade Curlin, he hit it too hard. I mean, that ball is smashed 104 miles an hour. Stays in the air just long enough for Rigdon to get below it. And you know the pitcher loves that. A ball that maybe was going to be extra bases when it left the bat turns into a leadoff out.
Hayden Yost is 2 for 2. I keep thinking, going back to how these center fielders have to play, was it McDonald's hard hit ball off the bat that Rigdon made a late adjustment to? This ball is belted deep right field. It is off the fence, trapped by Johnstone. Yost will stop at second, content with a double. He was 2 feet away from another bomb, and Johnstone is injured after his foot got caught up in the fence.
mean, Hayden
Hope Johnstone's okay.
Yeah, I mean, Hayden, what is happening? I mean, this dude it's just turned into a barrel fest. And like you said, Johnstone takes a nasty, is it his foot or is he just catch a hip there? I'm not sure.
Gosh, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a full speed collision into the wall.
Ankles look good. That's good. I think you're right.
I think it's his hip. Hayden Yost now 3 for 3, homer double. I mean, what in the world?
That's your 9-hole hitter. Here's Kyle Jones. This Florida program just seems to kind of sand down the rough edges on some of their players that have great potential at this time of year. Then they turn into dudes. 1-1.
They just hold on to them, release them right around the stretch run. And this team, it's crazy because there's a few that are really making a strong push down the stretch. And in a weird way, Brendan Lawson, who's their most noteworthy bat all year long, he kind of took a hibernation there in the middle, and he feels like he's part of that club too. Cade Kurland has done a really nice job down the stretch. He had a multi-homer game the other day. That's a bat that's been around a while, but it, missed last season with injury and really starts to look the part now.
Kyle Jones goes down swinging, but Lawson and Sear, 2-3 in the order, really doing some damage today.
Yeah, 5 for 5, have not been retired. Lawson started with a double in the right center field gap. Sear with a 2-run Johnny to left. It's a scary bunch to pitch to right now, but especially when these two are locked in.
And so it'll be someone else to do it as Brennan Cyber gets taken off the hook. 2 down in the 6th inning, and Vanderbilt going back to the bullpen. We'll tell you about the new door after this. On the SEC Network, presented by Regions Bank. 29th season here at the Hoover Met for this postseason extravaganza. Vandy firing its bullets. This is 6'6" freshman Wyatt Neto making his 15th appearance. 60 Ks at 51 2/3.
It's a big arm. You have the potential to be a star in this league. Fastball gets you up to 98 miles an hour and a wipeout breaking ball at times. It's a slider that has a lot of depth to it when he gets over the top of it. And that's exactly what they're looking for here. Some swing and miss with two of the best bats in this Gator lineup due up.
Florida already 5 runs on 11 hits. For an offense that was generally anemic throughout the regular season, but has come along late. Sear is a triple shy of the cycle. That's a thing, right? And so is Yost.
Okay. That means you'd think if you had 2 players, 1 hit shy of the cycle, you'd have more than 5 runs at this point, but
fair.
It almost feels like they do, but Vandy's done a nice job of wiggling out of some traffic.
Got a double play in the second. They left the bases loaded in the third and left 1 stranded in the fifth.
There's not much chase here in Brennan Lawson's profile. League average chase 23%. Brennan Lawson 16%. They're just putting them on. Like this is, they know the way this story's going to end. And
yeah, so let's put them on so we only have to pitch to Sear.
That's it. Well, you got to pitch to Sear, but at least it's a right on right. And you feel like maybe there's a little more opportunity to get him to leave the zone.
Double single home run for Sear. Home run with 358 feet to left. And a first pitch strike. 94 from Wyatt Neto.
Sear very different from a chase perspective, almost 26%. So 3% more, 3 percentage points more than the league average. He'll leave the strike zone to go after a pitch. Good take right there. And couple that with the right on right aspect of it, and that seemed like a pretty easy decision. As hot as he is, it's just which one do you fear the least?
Third consecutive appearance out of the bullpen for Neto. Here's what Sear did last time up.
He's really been on a home run heater the second half of the season. 12 home runs on the season, 8 in SEC play. It's been a huge impact, especially when Lawson was struggling. He was carrying him there for stretches. Uh-oh, this will be an interesting one.
ABS challenge.
The catcher's challenge in the call.
If Corbin Reynolds gets one, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a strike.
That closes the 6th.
Big call. Huge call.
And perfectly played by Corbin Reynolds to get off the field. Vandy trails by 2 through 6. Well, Tim Corbin has been to the postseason 19 consecutive seasons. That's 20 over 23 since he's been in Nashville. 5 times to Omaha and a pair of national championships. They know how to dogpile.
You know, it's 5 times to Omaha, Tommy. It's 4 times to the finals. You know, it's interesting. You talk about College World Series appearances, and there are some coaches in the game today, a handful that have more overall trips to Omaha. But boy, when he takes a team to Omaha, they're there to win the thing.
We were talking with him earlier this season, and somehow we got on the subject of Julian Infante. And he said, you know, after we'd celebrated that last national championship, there was a knock on our hotel door at about 3 a.m. And Infante was standing there with a group of dudes, and they dogpiled Corbs and Maggie in their hotel bed. Like, he got a group together. He goes, we got to go celebrate with Coach.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, too. He said it wasn't like him and the other middle of the lineup hitters. It was like there was student managers. There was, you know, it was a diverse group of players. He just talked about how charismatic of a leader Infante was.
They've won 2 of the last 3 SEC tournaments, and coming into this one with a school record in home runs. The consecutive tournament run is so impressive. 7 players on this roster, Berkey, had yet to be born the last time Vandy missed the postseason. It feels like a rite of passage.
Well, they've done a nice job hanging in this one, haven't they? I mean, it feels like the dam was going to break a few different times.
Johnson puts it in the air to right, and Yost handles it. One out. Mike Mancini coming up.
Maybe the ball's not quite getting the same help to right as it is to left.
I agree. You know, talking with Corbs before this tournament started, and he had gotten word, and he spoke about this in the media as well, that there's some guys in the team who are saying, we've got to win it for Corbs. We've got to do it for Corbs. And so his approach was, hold on. That can't be why you're going out to play every day, because you're going to be uptight and too tightly wound to perform well. Ground ball to second. So he was keeping guys loose around the cage on Monday. Somebody hit a high fly ball, and he goes, you know, you're going to make a great softball player one day. And I think as a head coach, and Tim Corbin certainly knows this, there are guys that you know who you can rib a little bit and who you have to play it straight with.
But your team's definitely going to take on your attitude. And if great leaders understand what buttons to press, and it's clear he understands, you know, even in our interview with him, that the solution, our interview with Kranzler, the solution to playing their best ball here this week to try to get in that tournament can't be that we're scared to death to lose. It's got to be an aggressive mindset, all gas, no brakes, and leave it all on the field, as opposed to the fear of what if it doesn't happen.
The architect of the Vanderbilt program. 3-0. 4-pitch walk is what Barry missed with the fastball. And now Logan Johnstone. You know, Corbs was a little reticent to dip into the transfer portal first couple of years it was in play. And his answer wasn't that much different than Dabo Swinney's was, which is, we've recruited guys to be part of this program. We trust in them. I'm not going to over-recruit the guys that are here. It's our job to develop them and turn them into stars. Now, went and got Johnstone from Washington State.
The catcher's challenge on the call.
It's a pretty similar pitch. The difference being this was a heater and not a breaking ball. I'm going to say it's a strike again.
You got a cheat code up here or something?
No, I just, That one's squarely in. The catchers are winning the week.
Yes, they are. Oh, 1. It's low, 1-1. What is a good rate for a home plate umpire in terms of getting calls right in college?
94, 95%, including the buffer zone, which you don't get nicked for whether you call it a ball or a strike. Whereas this zone includes the buffer zone as a strike. So, it appears that there might be a few more misses now relative to that. Now, every pitch that's questionable isn't being challenged either.
That's right.
It would be interesting to see what the correct scores would be with ABS after the game of each of these.
I would love to know that.
Yeah,
because I think if you take in the amount of total pitches that are taken, or if you minimize it and just put outer edge pitches that are taken, we're seeing those calls overturned, but I think the rate is still really high that they get it right.
Yeah, they're still nailing almost all of the game.
Catchers on their challenges are 23 for 33.
So they're nearing 70% at this point.
Runner goes, it's fouled off.
So I think the question will be leaving here. Let's just say it hovers around 70%, 65 to 70%. Will that then set the new course for the way the zone will be called moving forward for this league?
Well, my problem is what the caveat you just put in there. Because if this league is going to have a different strike zone than other leagues, and the goal is to win a national championship, you're going to go on the road and, well, home road doesn't matter. You're going to get different dudes behind the plate at some point in regionals and supers in Omaha.
Here's the thing we don't know. There's an assumption in this league that the zone is called smaller in this league than not in this league. And that's the part that we don't, that's the piece of the puzzle that we don't know.
Johnson goes down swinging, that closes a 7. Time to stretch in Hoover. Jackson Barberry pitches a scoreless 7. Well, here's a game track for this one. Second game of the day. Florida leads 5-3. All 3 runs for Vandy came in the 5th inning. Florida answered with a pair in the home half of the 5th. Gators already have 3 players with multi-hit games.
Feels like a big frame for the Gators to get a little breathing room. I would not want to head to the 9th with a 2-run lead against this desperate Vanderbilt group. It just, especially with the way this ballpark's playing. Now, Florida has the answers at the back end of their bullpen, so if anybody feels comfortable with it, it's probably Sully, but I'm sure he would like a little more breathing room.
Well, they've had an up and down season. They have 5 losses this year when leading after 7 innings. That surprised me.
It does me as well. Now they have dealt with different spurts of health in the back end of that bullpen, specifically with Barberi that's in the game right now.
It's a Florida team that started its season 13-1, and included in that run was a sweep on the road at Miami in Coral Gables. And a 3-game losing streak when they got swept on the road at Alabama. Lost 6 out of 7 between Auburn and A&M. That also included a loss to Jacksonville. So 14-6 against ranked, 12 losses to unranked teams. But look at that road record against top 25 opponents.
The only team in the league to beat Georgia, and they beat them in Athens. It's a resume that has some oddities to it, but really there's nobody in the league outside of Georgia and Texas that don't have some head-scratching moments. I mean, those 2 clubs have been really consistent. Of course, Auburn won 6 in a row at one stretch. They've been very consistent, one of the highest RPI teams in the country, but there's been quite a bit of volatility amongst the top. Take those 3 out of it, I guess, amongst the next group of, say, 6 or 8 teams in the league. Some weeks where you're like, man, that team really's got a shot, and then the next week they just go lay an egg.
So stands to reason, and to simplify, you want to be playing your best ball of the season at this point. Florida is certainly doing that. Georgia is still doing that. Who are the teams riding heaters right now, regardless of what happens this week? And not to dismiss the tournament, but there's some teams that are going to be looking forward to next weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Tennessee bunch is playing with a bunch of confidence. I love Mississippi State's offense and the fact that they seem to be getting healthy and playing well at the right time.
12-2 run rule victory against Missouri to start the day.
Got their ace back last weekend, which is a really big deal. So that, that's a group that I think I still think that Ole Miss team, if they can get the Cade Townsend that showed up in the middle of the season back, Ole Miss has a real chance to play for a while. Because Taylor Rabe's been as good as anybody in the league in the last month or so. So you go Elliott, Townsend, Rabe, that's a pitching staff that travels with some real answers in the bullpen. Walker Hooks being the guy at the back end.
1-1 to McDonald, who is 0 for 3 today.
But similar to your prior point, there's enough teams that have had high enough highs where the best version of about 10 of these teams.
Oh my goodness!
I mean, Bama, and there's a lot of teams that have shown spurts of being Omaha good.
I was listening to my favorite college baseball podcast, and they invented a term. I don't know if it makes sense, but the low oxygen zone. And I feel like when you've had those experiences within this league, that you'll feel less pressure in those moments, because the confidence that we've been able to do it against some of the best in the country. Take Auburn, for example.
Yes.
#1 strength of schedule, #1 pitching staff by many metrics.
And Ole Miss has the #1 strength of schedule within the conference. And so I was thinking about Ole Miss today, too. Is it the worst thing in the world they don't host? I mean, they've had, I think, both their trips to Omaha. I know the year they won it all, they didn't host either round. I think
that year, both times they went to Supers in on Louisiana and Arizona, respectively.
So, you never know. It might be a great sign for the Rebels that they're going to be on the road. Again, it's
Mike
a pitching
Bianco,
staff that travels.
He was not going to mess up the rotation for next weekend and have that expense to try to win a few games here. McDonald gets tied up. Second K for Neto. He's K'd 2 and he's walked 2 so far.
An Ole Miss team that, you know, lost in their home regional last year to Cinderella Murray State. I do think their counterparts, Mississippi State, they really want to host, and you know, a win today certainly takes them a step closer to that being a shoe-in. It feels pretty safe, but you never feel great when you're in that 14-15 spot if you show up to Hoover and walk out after one game. But I'd like to. I just think it's great for the sport because it is one of the, if not the best experience in the college game.
Carson Bowen is 0 for 2. So here your projected top 16 seeds. Oregon State would be number 17. So there's some West Coast flavor this year. West Virginia in the mix. Nebraska with a chance to host.
Say the Aggies had a big comeback series win against Mississippi State. Mississippi State finished the year with on a 3-series losing streak, but one of those two teams was going to finish the year in that company because they both had dropped a couple, and the Aggies lost game 1 and then came back and won those last 2 to keep them in the top 8 conversation. It will be interesting though if Florida, let's say Florida wins a couple here, they got a lot of ball game left, but is there room for another SEC host in the top 8? Or would they have to replace the Aggies for them to be in that mix?
Well, when you ask that question, I'll hit it back over the net to you. Should the committee think like that?
I don't think. I mean, last year they proved they didn't. They weren't afraid to.
So let's focus on the top 8 here, projected. So A&M sitting there at number 8. You're saying if Florida climbs, you would bump somebody in the bottom, well, the bottom 4.
Are all
and
SEC
these are all
teams.
projections, obviously.
Yes.
This is not committee endorsed. Yeah, if you climb in the top 8, you're bumping somebody, and it's not likely to be Carolina, Georgia Tech, or UCLA.
No.
They're not dropping out. So
yeah, that answers that. I didn't even really put 5 through 8 in the front of my mind. Yeah, it's if Florida is able to climb, somebody from the SEC would most likely be bumped.
And now the counter to that is if those teams keep winning, no matter how well you do, there's no space for it.
That's right.
So it makes it a taller hill to climb for Florida. Bullpen door is open. That'll be the end of the line for Wyatt Neto. He's only struck out and walked batters. Walk, K, walk, K, walk. And he will walk back to the dugout. Regions Bank, the official bank of the SEC. Dave Van Horn is in the building. 7-seed Arkansas, 10-seed Tennessee. Man, they've had some knockdown dragouts over the years.
Another club you'd never count out this time of year, Tommy, when you start talking about maybe from not the top 4 SEC seeds that could end up in Omaha. Never count out the Hogs, and it's pitching staff that has taken on a few different shapes, but Hunter Dietz has been as good as almost anybody in the league the back half of the season.
Luke Guth comes out of the Vanderbilt bullpen. He replaces Wyatt Neto. He is the 5th pitcher of the game. The junior right-hander from Franklin, PA, 2-1 with a .506 and 40 strikeouts in just 32 innings pitched.
This is a kind of an everyday presence in this Vanderbilt bullpen. One of the guys that they have leaned on the most to provide stability and get him out of some jams. And boy, does he have his hands full here with this one.
.21-year-old enters with 2 on and 1 out. Neto worked just 2/3 of an inning. Pulled foul. Neto, and his time on the mound, walked 3 and struck out 2. That's it. Guth worked an inning against South Carolina last weekend, just 1 run on 2 hits. He pitched twice in the weekend at Alabama. The end of April, beginning of May. In for a strike.
Nice backdoor breaking ball. It's mostly fastballs and cutters, but he'll show you a slider and a curveball as well. Fastball 92 to 94 range.
That is a fair ball. Topspin for Gooden, and he'll take it for out number 2. It advances both base runners. Serwick ends up at 3rd and Bowen at 2nd.
We're at that time of the day where it gets pretty fiery out there on the clay, Tommy. And this ball whoop bounds. You got to get in front of that thing. Good thing for Gooden that he gloved it. That would have been at least 1 if it squeaked by him.
JJ January helping us out with the view.
Some hardware on the bill of that cap.
You should ask if next time you're on the golf course trying to take money from Dave Neal or Kyle Peterson, if you can wear that on the course.
You could see some things. A lot of pine straw, some creeks.
Entire tour, huh?
like a nature tour.
Curlin looking for his first hit. That is just foul. Curlin had a good series against LSU, 4 for 11. He had 4 hits in Kentucky series the week prior. Here's a look. Just inside Serwick.
That would be a great look if we get one that's a 50-50 over the base.
Curlin healthy last season. Only got 13 starts in due to a shoulder injury. 2 years ago, limited time with a right hand injury, but he started the Stillwater Regional off with a home run in the 2-3 game against Nebraska. Been around for a while.
Yeah, he's nicknamed Baby Berkman when he arrived. I think he arrived, didn't he arrive at the halfway point, or he enrolled early?
Yeah, he graduated a year early and was an early enrollee. So I think midway through that 23 season. Reaches for it, pokes it off of the umpire Scott Kennedy, off of his inside of his leg. Was going to get through anyway, but it turns into a 2-run single for Cade Curlin, his first hit of the game.
Now that's a professional AB. Gets fooled on a breaking ball. You see Luke Guth kind of shaking his head. We talked about sometimes corner infield play in a beauty contest. Sometimes hitting with 2 strikes in a beauty contest. Stick your butt out, get your chest down, extend the barrel. Watch him butt out, chest down, extend the barrel. Find an opportunity to move the baseball, and that one shoots right back up the box.
Glad you stuck to hitting. I thought that was a 2 Live Crew lyric there for a second. Hayden Yost is 3 for 3.
Interesting that Vandy did not have. We are so used to that ball being caught by the second baseman.
And because of positioning.
Yeah, because of positioning, and they were not playing the the second baseman up the middle on a ball that just feels like in the modern game doesn't squeak through much anymore. Look where Mancini is here. I mean, that's kind of the old school second base.
Didn't help that it caromed off Kennedy.
No, but oftentimes you'll have the second baseman almost aligned where Scott Kennedy was to start.
Lifted into right center field. Rigdon on his horse, and with a step or two on the track, hauls it in. Came up the bat at 105, but it dies in the leather. 2-run 7th for Florida, and the Gators lead by 4. Florida with the lead over Vandy as we go to the top of the 8th inning, and Ernesto Lugo Canchola is the new pitcher. 6'5", 235-pound lefty, making his 26th appearance.
Everyday Ernie. You like that nickname?
I love that nickname.
Yeah, I'm in on that nickname. 26 appearances for the Gator left-hander. Man, it's going to be heavy breaking balls to the lefties, so I'm certain that Tommy Gooden is going to see his fair share here. Oftentimes used as a 1AB, get a lefty out weapon. Be interesting to see if they try to get him through a full inning or if he's just in to, you know, you got Gooden and then the switch hitter wait.
You know, I had a similar nickname.
You did?
Yeah, part-time Tom.
There's not much alliteration there, Tom.
No. Look at it go. D2 pitcher of the year in 25 for Ernesto Lugo Canchola, coming out of Northwest Nazarene. First team Division II All-America. He was 13-0 through 16 starts in Division II baseball last year. Swing and a miss.
There's slider number 1 of this at bat. It's almost 50-50 pitch usage, but it's about 52% to 48% to left-handers, slider to fastball. So a little more than 50% sliders, and he started this one off with back-to-back breakers.
One more, or not yet?
I'd go chase here. Oh, gas.
Yeah.
Had him set up, Tommy. Should be calling pitches.
Thinking about it.
93.
Do I have to show up every day for that?
You're supposed to. I mean, every day, Tommy. This four-seamer right here plays up after a couple 81-mile-an-hour breaking balls.
How is it possible that you make the jump from Division II to the SEC and show up regularly for one of the best teams in the country?
Well, I think if you've got command and you've got the ability to spin a breaking ball from the left side, there's a use for you. Especially you got, you know, fastball velo that gets into the low 90s. That'll play out of just about anybody's bullpen.
We were talking last week, maybe 2 weeks ago. I remember every time we've worked together, and some I've forgotten, about the value that big league clubs now assign to pitchers when it comes to the draft. If you are elite with one or two elements, whether you're a pitcher or a hitter, they've found a way to hypervalue that as opposed to being great all around. And I would assume the same thing would stand. They're going to find you if you're at the Division II and you have two elite pitches.
Yeah, they're college baseball, especially really all of college baseball is using the portal, just like Major League Baseball uses the draft. They're identifying traits and tools and performance metrics that they're going to use to then try to put together their roster as everyday Ernie. Now back-to-back punch-outs. And what you got to love about Ernie, it is the most classic left-handed sideways hat that you'll ever see. I mean, my man, he's got that thing at like, where are we working, like 3 o'clock there?
Not quite 3 o'clock. Maybe 2.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe 1:30.
Lefties, they just can't quite get it right. It's amazing.
Or they would say it's right to them.
Yeah, that's right. Everything's relative. Maybe he's like using it like you use your visor in the car, like he's trying to keep the sun out of his right eye.
It would make sense, being a southpaw.
Catcher's challenging.
See if Carson Bowen gets him one here. Gators haven't missed on an ABS challenge yet today.
I mean, and really today the challenges that we've seen have really all been top to bottom in this game.
As opposed to east to west, yeah.
The catchers are dialed.
I think Bowen's got a really good feel for that low strike. You knew Major League umpire scorecards when you were playing, and you knew who were pitcher friendly, who were hitter friendly. Did you have a feel for where their blind spot was as well?
Well, the game was so much more narrative based then.
This one golfed into left field. Sear on the run, loses the hat. 1-2-3 frame work by everyday Ernie. We'll get Chris Burke's thoughts if he's willing to share them when we come for the bottom of the 8th.
Fest here at the Finley Center, just right next to the Matt Dari Todd Luchin here. When this show's over, we'll quit playing games, or when the game's over, we'll quit playing games. Head on over, do a little show. We will get you set for Arkansas, Tennessee. We'll go field access with Cam Kozel. Also welcome in some of the winners from this game to the set. About Florida swinging the bats.
12 hits today. I mean, Sear, Yost, and Lawson have been on base 10 of 11.
Wow.
Florida's fighting to get in the top 8. That's for Vanderbilt, who's 3 outs away from going home.
Yeah, Florida got the ability to throw an 8 in King. He got his work in. He pitched 4 2/3 innings. So I think Florida has exactly what they needed today.
Yeah.
They get that victory. They can carry on to tomorrow.
All right, Todd. Tom, when you're done, cornhole, you and me, let's go.
I would love to. Dari, what's your dog's name?
Mocha Noka, my friend. Mocha Noka.
Berkey wants you to send some pictures. Kyle Jones with a fly ball to right field.
That's all name team right there.
It is all name. Did you guys have fun? What are Curiel's dogs' names?
Bo and Tiger. That's right.
Tiger.
Bo was his dog, and then Tiger was Bo's offspring.
Yeah.
Pretty predictable.
Yeah.
Is that predictable? Why? What makes that predictable? Bo would have a tiger?
No, they named him Tiger.
Oh, okay. Okay, sure.
Stay with me, Dark.
I got you.
He plays for LSU. Their mascot is a tiger.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just took a nap, guys. I'm sorry.
so jealous. All right, thank you, Joe. Rest up. You got a big post game coming up.
Yes, indeed.
I kind of thought Dari would have gone Boomer and sooner. Corbin Reynolds 0 for 3. Or pardon me. This is Lawson. See, you got me on the wrong side of the scoreboard.
Yeah, I was about to say, flip that book.
Yeah. Brandon Lawson is a double, a single, and a couple of walks. And that breaking ball's in the dirt. If we're going to play cornhole, we could just go out to the mound and use the rosin bags. We had a point yesterday, Berkey. There were 4 rosin bags on the mound.
I was watching when you asked why there were so many of them, and I was very curious about that myself. Now 2 makes sense, 1 for each team. Right?
Better to have and not need than need and not have.
But there was like
Confucius, who starred in the minors, said that.
Wasn't there like 5?
There may have been 5 at one point, and they threw 1 out.
4's the limit.
I guess so. We get a challenge from Corbin Reynolds.
There's that low breaking ball again.
Catcher's challenge in the pitch.
Might as well, he says. This could be Florida's last at bat. Yeah, that is a clipper right there. Nice job. It's been very efficient from a timing standpoint.
Sure. Here's the payoff. And Lawson drills it deep to right field. Johnston will watch it fly just under the scoreboard and back out of the field. Lawson's 15th home run, his 3rd hit of the game to go with a couple of walks.
Sure you didn't want that walk?
Corbin Reynolds is thinking, what did I do?
Careful calling him back, especially now that he is re-engaged. Again, one of the best hitters in the land, who just had a weird about 6-week stretch, and now he is fully locked in again. A breaking ball that sails out of here to right center field. And Brendan Lawson having himself a day.
Well, let the Gators get hot, huh? Sear sizzles this one into the left field corner. Picked up by Holcomb. And Sear goes in feet first.
Just a lousy double. You got to go for 3 right there.
Yeah, I think you're right. Just a 4-hit game.
So needed a triple for the cycle. I mean, you wouldn't be viewed as selfish if you go for 3 right here, would you, Tom?
833 career plate appearances for Sear, 0 triples. If not now, win.
You could just go Little League right there. Just keep running.
Just run right past him.
Getting a pickle.
$14 hits today for Florida. Surwick had a great series against LSU, 7 for 14, a double, a pair of home runs. He drove in 10. Florida's homered. Florida did homer 10 times in each of 2 of their last 3 series. 10 against Oklahoma, 10 against LSU. Reynolds wants him to take a look at that.
Catcher's challenge on the pitch.
I think this one's down. I'm calling this one early. This one actually was low.
Just a hair down. So what's funny about, not funny about that, but if the strike zone was measured from the front of the plate, that's probably a strike. It's ABS measures it from the middle of the plate, you miss by half an inch.
Yeah. Yeah, all part of the puzzle.
I mean, when you were a hitter, what did you, like, how did you view the strike zone with the plate the size that it is?
That's a great question. I would say you're viewing it to your front foot.
Okay. Well, the front foot for Serwick is in the middle of the plate as he starts his kick, and he draws ball 4. You want to expound on that, or are we good?
No, I think typically that's where you're trying to make contact, and obviously the ball's moving really fast, but you're making a decision. I don't know exactly what the sports science would say, but let's say 5 or 6 feet out in front of that, and so that's where your eye level tends to be gauging where the pitches swing or don't swing.
Yeah. Tim Corbin will take the ball from Luke Goth. He'll go back to the bullpen with 2 runners on for Florida in the 8th. SEC tournament kind enough to wear up cams for us, and it's given us never before seen views. I think it's been fantastic. I would show you the highlights here. These are some things that you just don't get.
Love these angles. I think it really gives the viewer a sense of how fast the ball's moving.
Now, the only thing we're missing is if we would have put one on Paul Gillier for the umpire dinner on Monday night, we would have seen his salmon-colored pants. However, wish not, want not. New pitcher, Jacob Faulkner for Vanderbilt. We got some funk here on this delivery for the senior out of Venice, Florida.
A little sinker slider combo here gives you a real funky arm slot. He actually will throw a 4-seamer from down there as well. So he'll try to ride it, he'll sink it, and of course throw that frisbee out of that slot as well.
17th appearance of the season. 23 strikeouts and 35 1/3. What's your gut tell you for Vandy in terms of in at large? Is the win total in the league just on its own enough? Or are you going to be, I guess I'll let you off the hook a little bit. Is this simply scoreboard watching and hope that there aren't other bid teams out there?
Well, that's the first thing. That's the very first thing. You want to make sure there are as few bid stealers out there as possible, and then you're really just banking that you could be an outlier from an RPI perspective, that this would maybe be the year that the other metrics matter enough that you could be the highest by a wide margin.
Sure.
RPI at-large team from the SEC.
Faulkner had to get his pitch comm right. Sear at second, Serwick at first. 2 doubles, a single, and a home run for Sear.
Well, and this is, to me, and there's a handful of lineups in this league that fall into this category. What makes this Florida offense right now so interesting is you get kind of a goose egg here from Cade McDonald, at least to this point. Somebody that's been one of your catalysts here over the last month, but you don't even notice it because there's enough guys in this lineup now that at some level 3 or 4 of them are going to give you big-time production each and every game. It doesn't matter who it is, and it doesn't matter. You're not just circling 3 or 4 guys of your first 5 hitters. I mean,
you're not circling them, and neither is the opposing pitching staff.
So it is stress 1 through 9 for 27 outs, and it's damage. It's not just okay. Yeah, this guy can really handle the bat situation. It's a bunch of guys that can run the ball out of the yard on you.
Developing story down the road in Montgomery, the Sun Belt tournament. Louisiana leading Coastal 10-7.
I did a game at Chapel Hill with Coastal and UNC about 3 weeks ago, and Coastal ran away from Carolina, and they looked destined to be a top 8 seed at that point. Now it looks like they're essentially out of the hosting conversation.
So what does that do for Louisiana if you get a win in advance in the Sun Belt? That's a bubble team.
That's a bubble team that starts to look a lot shinier on their resume.
Fly ball to left. Two down. Tennessee's in the house. Tennessee and Arkansas. Start time no earlier than 5:30 Eastern, 4:30 Central.
Louisiana came into the day 38th in the RPI, so a win over Coastal would only heighten that.
Purdue beat Illinois today in Omaha. Big Ten tournament. Purdue was sitting on a 2 line, right? According to the projections.
Sitting on the bubble.
Oh, my bad. I thought they were a 2 seed.
They were bubble out.
Nothing in 2 to Carson Bowen. Coastal and Louisiana now in a rain delay. They had a deluge there after Raging Cajun scored 3 in the top of the 7th. And this one pulled down the line. Nothing in 2 to Bowen. Bowen's drawn a pair of walks. He's 0 for 2. And he pops this one out of play.
Always a tough matchup for a right-handed hitter when you're facing a side armor or submarine right-handed pitcher. There's just such a unique look to it. But it usually, as the at-bat goes deeper and deeper, the advantage starts to swing towards the hitter's side of things. Such a unique look. It takes a few pitches to settle in and really find that release point. But Bowen's starting to look more and more comfortable here as we reach the 7th pitch of this AB.
So as a hitter, I'm thinking about a basketball player shooting and aiming for the front of the rim or the back of the rim, wherever they set their eyes, where do your eyes set normally?
So normally, I would always go from the pitcher's face to the release point. And so you think about that, that's usually, you know, a pretty straight line. For a submariner, that becomes a very different visual.
Wiffle ball, swing and a miss. And it's the last chance for Vandy today, and possibly last chance for Vanderbilt and this 19th season postseason run. RPI that outside of the norm for an SEC at-large squad, and they needed to piece together a few wins that either try to improve that number or get the automatic berth by winning this whole thing, as they have 2 out of the last 3 years. Now that is on the line as we go to the 9th inning, and Vanderbilt trails by 5. Here's their company on the bubble for the NCAA tournament. Selection show on ESPN2 Monday at noon. East Carolina, Michigan, Kentucky, and NC State last 4 in. NC State could be bumped out of that with their loss in the ACC tournament. But then you got to leapfrog 4 other teams, according to the guesses by the folks at D1 Baseball.
It's a lot of traffic in front of you.
Yeah.
Again, just a projection, but a projection based on a lot of data points throughout the years as Luke McNeely comes on for the 16th time, 31 innings, 42 Ks, fastball that'll get up into the 95, 96 range, slider and a changeup as well.
Nothing in 2. And you also have to hold off the bubble teams behind you, like Southeast Missouri State, UAB, and Purdue, as we mentioned earlier. Barzy fouls it off. He is 0 for 3 today.
Yeah, just, you know, if this is it for the Doors, it's as frustrating as this season is. You get a chance to bring back a big chunk of all the contributing pieces from this group that really played better the second half of the season, and that's encouraging, especially you start talking about getting some of those pieces that missed this year back healthy, like Austin Nye, and we saw a glimpse of Shorey today, but you give those guys an opportunity to get back healthy.
Barzy rung up.
And then from a position player's standpoint, you're bringing back most of the group that you see on the field today. Colin Barzio, as that bat went way past the point of no return, Colin Barzy will most likely move on. And, of course, Mike Mancini's out of – Mike Mancini and Logan Johnstone are out of eligibility. But there's the potential to bring the rest of this group back.
Hawkeye chaos pinch hitting. Down to the count, 0-2.
You think about a pitching staff that had about 50% of their innings was by freshmen this year. So, you know, yeah, maybe we have an NCAA tournament this year, Tommy. That's a pretty quick good morning, good afternoon, good night. But I don't think LSU and Vanderbilt are going to stay down long.
No. By the way, speaking of bubble teams, Troy and South Al play each other tonight. So while one of them will take a loss, the other one might get a little bit of a bump. 2 down, and Brody Johnson at the plate. He is 1 for 4. Vandy was able to add to its resume with the come from behind win against Kentucky yesterday. 8-5 victory, but Tim Corbin's team, barring a miracle, is going to fall short in this one. And Barzy bangs it up the middle and keep it going. Pardon me, Johnston. And that'll bring Mike Mancini up.
Talented kid, man. Brody Johnston coming back next year for his junior season. Got a chance. And he will be on the short list of players that'll be in that player of the year conversation in the SEC. It's been a very productive year out of the sophomore third baseman, but I think there's another jump in there. And with Jason Esposito settling in as the hitting coach, it wouldn't shock me if he has a monster year next year.
Defensive indifference. Johnston goes to second. Winner of this one gets Alabama tomorrow in the second game of the day. You think there'll be some tickets sold tomorrow? Mississippi State, Georgia, game number 1. Alabama, the home team, game number 2.
It's going to be a fun day of baseball.
This place will be rocking. Might be some Auburn fans that show up later tonight for the second session. They've got the nightcap with LSU.
How about some that one's going to be juicy this evening.
0-2 to Mancini. In the air to right. Yost and Curlin. Curlin bails. Yost handles it. Well, it was a great day at the plate for Hayden Yost, and he gets the final out of the game. And Vanderbilt sees its regular season come to an end. The question remains, will their 19-season postseason streak stay alive? Tim Corbin and company will be scoreboard watching, and they'll be on pins and needles for the selection show on Monday.
Well, hard to believe that we might have an NCAA tournament without the doors in it. They certainly played a nice ball game yesterday. Just ran into a buzzsaw. This Florida team looks poised to play for a while this postseason, Tommy.
So still to come, Arkansas and Tennessee, and then Auburn and LSU with Dave Neal and Kyle Peterson taking the rest of the way today. Kevin O'Sullivan's team plays on. Tim Corbin's team heads home, and we'll get you to the studio now. For Chris Burke, our fantastic crew, I'm Tom Hart. Enjoy the rest of the tournament, everybody.